and I'm going to start the recording too.
We are live.
Oh,
We are live, guys.
so
And
I'm going to just turn off the duplicate sounds. Wendy, can you hear me?
I can. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. Give me 1 second. Let me just reduce the volumes on various places.
give me 1 second. Let me just volume some various things.
Okay. I am just trying to see if it should not echo.
I am just trying to see if it should not echo.
And it is echoing. Great.
It is echoing. Great.
Do you have a Facebook on, Wendy?
I do not.
Okay, so that's a
Do you
good.
have do you have a Facebook on already?
I do not.
Okay, so
Okay, guys, let's go with it. Hello everyone. I'm your host Sanjay K. Khetapal, and in this podcast we bring our experts from the various travel industry. Today we have our expert from Princess Cruise Line. Welcome, Wendy. How are you?
Hi. So great to be here. Thank you.
Good to have you here, Wendy. So I think we are definitely we are going live on Facebook also. If people want to join Facebook, they can quickly. So let's talk about. So tell me about yourself, Wendy. Your career, what I've been up to. Just give a little bit overview for yourself.
Yes. Well, just been enjoying the summer weather and getting back to travel. So super excited about, how things are finally evolving and we're getting back to this new norm. And so doing just a little bit of local travel recently. So, I live in southern New Jersey. So for those of you who are joining us, hopefully you get to make your way down to some of my favorite parts of the beach, Cape May, Ocean City, Atlantic City, if you want a little bit more of a gambling adult night with the casinos. And so, yeah,
Like
it's
the
just
gambling,
been a lot
like
of
the
fun.
gambling part.
Yeah. I've been on a couple of cruises, of course, with the Princess, and it's been a fantastic time just to be able to get back out and feel the freedom of travel again.
Awesome. Thank you. So let's first address the elephant in the room, and I have got a lot of Q&A from a lot of my folks saying that let's talk about the COVID. How are you approaching it? Restrictions, tests,
Yeah.
etc. around it, because this is one of the major thing where I have when I was trying to say that when I'm going live with a lot of questions came on that area saying that. So I was like, let me address it as a first thing before we move on to anything else, because this is the most important on people's level, and that is stopping people from traveling. So
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
I do have 2 slides on that if you want
Yeah.
a visual. Yeah,
Yeah.
so what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and advance to those slides. and then we'll try to, tackle some of those questions. So, right now, of course, we are still requiring vaccinations, fully vaccinated cruisers, but there is a 10% where we are allowing 10% of those that are wanting to cruise that, can get the exemption as long as it's pre-approved. And we're not counting that 10%, in the age group of the guests 5 and under.
Oh,
So
that's good.
there is an opportunity to travel and to cruise if it is that you're not vaccinated. I want to reassure you that, of course, most of our guests, 90% of our guests and crew, as well as staff, are vaccinated. There is testing requirements still are in place, 2 days or 3 days prior to embarkation, depending on if it's the antigen and or the PCR. In certain trade markets, we are requiring masks to be on board, especially indoors. But again, just taking extra precautions. This is where I'm more or less seeing this as in Alaska. So, of course, because they have such a short season and we want to make sure that the rest of the sailing season is a success. So, again, we're leaving that jurisdiction up to the captain and the crew to make those decisions. But just so you're aware, again, kids under 5 are not counting towards our non-vaccinated limit. So if you have any questions, that resource of theprincess.com/cruise health FAQs is a great resource. Of course, we always ask our travelers to stay updated with that, depending on the destination that they're traveling to, whether it be Europe or whether it be from the Americas. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So that is a very important information. There was another follow-up on this one. Probably people can find that information on Princess, the website itself. But it was like when we go out on excursions, some of the destination require, even if the Princess is saying that, hey, I'm okay, but the destination might prevent you from saying that, hey, everybody else have to be kind of vaccinated.
Right.
So is that something you have an idea on, or probably if that information is on the web, that's okay?
That would be something that they would have to inquire, specifically about, with the areas that they're going to be traveling to. They could be at a point where, yes, they're allowed to cruise, but they may not be able to disembark in that particular port if it is that they're requiring only vaccinated to go in. So, that would be something that it would be wise to talk with you as a travel advisor, and they can work through, what those port visitations are like. Yeah.
Super. Thank you so much. And I think that was the one thing which I want to start. So today as we mentioned in our podcast earlier, when we were trying to go through it, we said we're going to talk about 2 major destinations, Alaska and Europe. And
and then I peppered in a couple of other fun destinations.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a surprise and delight, because, so many travelers are still considering, going a little closer to their travel window than expected, so they're booking later and sooner to that departure, but then they're also considering some of our own backyard treasures. So I did throw in some other additional itineraries as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's begin, Wendy. Floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to back up here just for a moment because, being in the travel industry, I was looking at these pictures as we were getting ready to get started. And, I just think that travel really is something that just brings such incredible joy, but really knowledge, and just a better understanding of people and places and just perspective, right? So this is why we're so drawn to traveling around the world. I think it just is able for us to better understand the world and connect with one another. And so it really plays into so much of what we do, since we travel around the globe with Princess, and really what our purpose is really to connect you, the traveler, with the destination and with the loved ones that you're traveling with, but that you're also making some great friendships along the way. So that really is why we're so motivated to travel, and again, I know some of these health and safety protocols are in place, again, for your safety, But we see that some of the CDC announcements recently are opening up some of the restrictions for cruise lines,
Awesome.
determinations on how that's going to impact us, and how it's going to change our protocols haven't been decided upon as of yet, but that is to come. And this is, of course, where you can find that information.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah.
One thing which I have is, and we were talking earlier too, that I have a few questions on the destination, because we declare the destination in advance. I'll hold off the question until you finish on the destination, and then ask on
Yeah.
that destination, and then we move on to the next one. Is that okay? Or I'll let you
Yeah,
want to
I
finish the
can.
whole thing, and then
Sure.
one time we can go to Q&A.
Well, probably for time, for time's sake, it might be smoother if we go into transitioning. What I did is, because, really there's a lot of companies that can take you anywhere, but really how
Yeah.
Princess frames the experience is why we pride ourselves on being the destination leader. We have these touch points and the relationships in the different areas that we travel that really brings it to life, even from the moment that you're stepping on ship. So, we're incorporating so many of the experiences that you would see in those areas through the culture, through the presenters, through the foods, through the entertainment. So that's really, how we deliver the difference in the experience. So,
Okay.
we do travel the globe, and we really try to make certain that you, as a traveler, are really truly immersed into that once it is that you get on the ship, as well as when it is that you go on shore. So you're going to see that again through a lot of the different experiences that you have throughout the different ports that you're visiting, but also too through the entertainment and the speakers, again, while you're on ship at sea. So I'm going to just start a little bit around, some of the Caribbean, because we know that that's super important. A lot of great opportunities to travel in the Caribbean. We've got year-round sailings going out of Fort Lauderdale. So I'm going to do a little bit of a snapshot on some of these different destinations, because some of you may or may not realize that we're actually back in Galveston. So Galveston is a popular port. We've got the Ruby Princess there now. We've got some really great departures going into the Western Caribbean. So some of this is something might be of interest to you. Instead of flying to Fort Lauderdale or flying to the West Coast, this is might be an option for you to consider. So we've got lots of additional experiences in this destination. This never grows old. We go to so many different areas of the Caribbean, and the beautiful blue waters call, as well as the incredible history of the ruins, so I love talking about the Caribbean, because it is just such a no-brainer. Even if it is that you've been to one particular area, you always seem to really find something new to uncover when you do visit. So this is just an example of the 7-day Western Caribbean round trip going out of Galveston and their ports of call. So talk a little bit about that. We go all through the Caribbean. So we've got, multiple itineraries that leave out of Fort Lauderdale. You've got the Eastern Caribbean, you've got the Western Caribbean, and then you've got the Southern Caribbean. So absolutely just a gorgeous itinerary. This is on my bucket list. I'll tell you, Sanjay, I hope to do this
huge.
cruise.
I love it. I love it. This is really good. I was going to say something about I like that Princess K is one. I mean, everybody needs to visit that. That's
our
huge.
private island. It is gorgeous, and it's really just nice because you've got everything right there. Your package for your meals and your drinks does translate to the private island of Princess Key. So this is fantastic. I'll share a little secret for we've decided for Christmas time we're going to bypass the true holiday season and spending any money, and we're going to put it in a trip. So me and my girls are going to be going to the ABC Islands, as you see here, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, and so excited about that trip. So we'll be spending New Year's this year on Princess.
Wow,
So
I love
what
it.
a way to celebrate, right?
I know. I last time I missed it. I actually was there somewhere, but I came back on 30th, and this time my group, actually my team, or my neighbors and the group we had, my friends and stuff, they were saying that this time we want to go and stay, come next year and go this year. Awesome. So I was looking for something for them,
Right.
if this looks like a fantastic thing,
There's
Aruba.
so many, and you would be surprised. It's such a great way to celebrate the holidays, get away from all the bustle and the commercialism of, what the holiday is about, when it really should be about your friends, your family, the people
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
love, and really making memories. And what better way to do that than snorkeling in Bonaire, right?
Wow, wow, that is good. One more question here, actually. So somebody
Yeah.
was asking me for a different reason, and sorry, I just thought about. I'm going to forget it.
Sure.
It just came up. Somebody asked me like a few months ago. Are there any activities just because I'm traveling on a New Year on the Princess?
Mhm.
Are there any like New Year type of activities you
Oh,
celebrate New
yeah.
Year?
Oh,
But just, I'm
sure. I
sure it is. I
mean,
was just wondering. I mean, if there is
just the
any.
same, yeah, they're going to incorporate any specific special holiday like Christmas. You'll see the crew, they'll decorate the ship, they'll have maybe special dinners that feature a special menu. They'll, for New Year's, there'll be, different events or parties planned around, that. So yeah, they definitely go above
Awesome,
and
awesome,
beyond
awesome.
to make you feel that certain tradition of the holiday, whatever it is that you celebrate.
All right, cool, cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to ask that question, but I couldn't resist. I'm
Yeah.
right there. I'm gonna forget it later on
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, no worries. And
thank you.
Panama Canal. Now, I got to tell you, if you haven't considered doing this, this is a wonderful itinerary with Princess, because we do the partial and the full transit with the canal. So, this is again giving you an opportunity to really get in, the experience of the rainforest and the wildlife, but also really being able to connect with the local cultures. So you'll see that there's, the original locks. So we've got the 10-day round trip Fort Lauderdale. So this is the partial transit experience. And then we've got the 15-day ocean to ocean. That would be the full transit experience. So again, it's just a wonderful experience for you to be able to have with your friends and your family, loved ones. So much of these last 2 years, we've really put aside where, any special markers of celebrating with all of our loved ones. So I think Panama Canal is just a wonderful way to experience so many different areas. And again, whether you choose to do the full or the partial is really depending on you and how much time you have. So you see here with if you go to the Fort Lauderdale, that's the 10-day, you're going to be going to all of these great locations everywhere from Ochos Rios to Cartagena to Costa Rica, which is of course known for their sloths. So that's where that great picture was located there. And then the 15-day. So you'd be starting out of Fort Lauderdale, and then you would be going to Aruba and Panama Canal through that area and all the way through up to Mexico and back to LA. So that
This
would
looks
be a
like a very
15
nice
day.
trip, though.
Yeah, that's a really nice trip. You can see again with the full you're going through both locks, the original as well as the new locks. So the sloth experience with the sanctuary is really quite impressive. We've got
Like
a lot
this.
of, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Sanjay, but we actually partner with Animal Planet and Discovery, and
Yes.
we do so many different unique experiences when it comes to our shore excursions that really give back into the communities that we visit. So take a look at some of those. Those are always happen to be my favorite. I'll share one of my personal experiences when we get to Alaska. So for Canada, New England, this is right in your backyard. I mean, oftentimes we don't even realize how much treasures are in our own backyard. We've got so many beautiful sailings going out this fall to visit these seaside villages, of course, seeing the fall foliage and enjoying the local seafood. It probably one of my favorite destinations to talk about because, oftentimes we just, again, don't even realize how beautiful the treasures are in our own backyard. So these are nice because they're round trip sailings out of New York. So if you have somebody who's looking to do whether a 7-day or 10-day, I always like the option of being able to do pre and post night. So that's a top tip that I can share with you is really make sure that when you're thinking about traveling that you do a post night or a pre night, one or two different, nights that you can spend to further explore the city and kind of make your trip that much more rich. So, again, I just love these itineraries because they feature so many cool experiences. I do always want to share, that we're on the West Coast. We've got a lot of sailings going out of the West Coast. We actually just came back to San Diego. So typically we've gone out of San Francisco as well as LA, but we've put a third ship now in San Diego. And so a lot of different options. What's nice about this is that if you're looking for a shorter sailing, like a 5-day, you can do that with the California coast or Mexican Riviera, but we also have longer sailings too. And they're, running pretty much all year round out of the West Coast. So you've got lots of different options of those getaway cruises, even visiting the Hawaiian Islands. The 5-day Cabo, I just love because again, it's a short stint. You can get over there. You don't have to take a full long, week and a half of vacation. If you only have a little bit of time, you still want to go somewhere, but you have all the luxuries of unpacking once and really enjoying everything on the ship. The 7-day and 10-day, again, another popular departure to go out of. And again, this is also going out of San Diego.
Nice.
And then we've got a new ship in San Francisco, which is the Royal Princess. Again, a lot of great itineraries. This is the largest ship yet. We're known for the Mexican Riviera. You may have even remembered us all the way back to the Love Boat days, right? From the 1965 generation of just being able to explore those gorgeous whales and of course the local culture and the beauty of these waters is just absolutely words cannot describe. So we've got year-round departures. So again, just a nice option if you're thinking about that, being able to again bring those different ways of being able to celebrate on the ship prior to even getting to the shore. You've got just such great music and traditions that we do also partake in on the ship. Our California coast, for those of you that are wine lovers and really want to explore the city sets, this is nice because it's so local to so many different nearby
This is
attractions.
for me.
Is this one for you? Okay. So I love the California.
Country. This is amazing.
Yes, the wine country. Who doesn't love that wine country? So there's just really nice options. We do even have, longer stints and overnight stays in both the popular city sets of San Francisco as well as San Diego. So again, if you're looking to do kind of a little bit of a stint to kind of be able to see different ports of call, I love the cruising option because again, it just gives you a little bit of a taste of and so many different areas, and then you can choose to go back and stay for a longer period of time should you try to want to do that. But
yes,
yeah, it's nice. I love, who doesn't love talking about the wine country,
Oh
and
yeah, of course.
so they do have, different excursions that do involve going up to that area. So the LA, San Francisco also does include these areas of round trip out of LA. So you've got some different offerings there with Mexico, but Hawaii, California coast, as well as Panama Canal and Canada, New England. So Hawaii is one of those areas that I think should be on everybody's bucket list. It's so nice, especially to experience this by cruise, because it does afford you the option to see multiple islands. And, as you and I both know, Sanjay, being in the industry, Hawaii can be pricey. So when you've got, the opportunity to experience it by cruise, you're not really having to worry about spending $20 for a burger, when you're on shore. You've got the availability to come back and get on the ship and, eat your breakfast.
The best part is you're not packing and unpacking and packing and unpacking. That's kind of huge. You just one time pack and unpack and you were like seeing everything Hawaii. This is huge.
Exactly. And it's nice because typically it would be very difficult to see all of these little islands on one itinerary if you were just flying to one area. Then, let's say if you were doing more of a land itinerary, you would have to be individually flying to each individual island, which, gets costly. And it also is very time consuming. So to know that you could do a 15-day and do all of the Hawaiian Islands, I mean, it just makes sense. We do, again, like I said, have late night calls on certain itineraries. You'll see that in Honolulu. That's offered on every sailing. And we sail on this particular itinerary fall through spring. So again, lots of great opportunities still happening for the fall. When we were talking about bringing on, again, that sense of immersion on ship, we do ukulele lessons, we do hula classes. There's lots of different festivals that we do on the ship, and even lei making, so I always like to kind of call out really where our princess difference is.
Yeah, this is good. Ukulele lessons are good. My son would love it.
So I just figured I'd kind of check off a couple of different areas, local and, more local, I mean, US bound, right? So, and then, my favorite destination, Europe. Love to talk about this destination because it's in my heart and soul. The drive for me to get back to Europe is very strong. And, again, I feel like what we deliver on our
Look at
cruise
that. Best
gives you
cruise in Europe by
beautiful.
Women's Choice. Can you
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, and some of these popular destinations you probably recognize just from the picture, right?
Yes,
But
yes.
it calls us. So, a lot of people, again, most of the popular departure ports are is what you see here on the screen. But you would be surprised that actually this is all of the different ports that Princess calls on.
Ooh.
So over
Oh,
110 ports, which is pretty fantastic. It shows you our level of just diversity and what we can offer in our different itineraries. So Sanjay, of course, I'm not going to have opportunity to explore all
no.
these ports, right? But, for the time being, I figured what I would do is scratch a little bit of the surface and talk about some of the more popular itineraries
Yep,
or
yep.
maybe
I
some
agree
that
that.
might be of interest to your clients. So,
Sure.
the key is that we're going to be taking you to these major landmarks, the ports that we're bringing you in. There's going to be different shore excursions that are going to help you to visit some of our, the most favored, different icons than when you go to that city set. So I personally like to talk about, some of the itineraries and how they can be combinable. So keep in mind that, for some of you, you may have this situation where, you only do have 7 days. And so maybe you fly into Rome and then you finish up in Athens, like this particular itinerary. But just know that some, if you're traveling as part of a group, they may choose to go on and travel 14 or 21 or 28 days. And so just know that some of these sailings are meant to be combinable, that if you finish up in Athens, then in Athens, you can pick up a 21-day best of
Ah,
Mediterranean, and then you can combine
nice.
that to be a 28-day sailing. So
Hmm.
it's really nice because again, you're going and, Italy is probably one of my favorite destinations to talk about in addition to Ireland and Scotland. And so, I
Greece.
just, Greece, Greece is absolutely spectacular. Barcelona. I mean,
Yes.
again, just there's so many different beautiful places. And, let me just go back to that for a minute, right? Because you'll see that you've got sailing time. So let me just talk about the sea days, right? The importance of having a sea day. You and I both know that when we're on vacation, we feel like we've got to run at a road runner pace. So sometimes it's so nice to be able to have those sea days to recover from visiting that first port to that next port. You might have a sea day. What do
Mm-hmm.
you do in that sea day? Well, you
Mm-hmm.
can enjoy our sanctuary. You can go up and actually have a private space. It's adults only. You are able to enjoy, rest, relax. You've got beautiful, you've got a tea service that actually comes to you when you're in the sanctuary. You've got butler service there too, bringing you
Nice.
drinks and or snacks. You have a special menu that's a healthy selection menu that can only be found in the sanctuary. So that's a nice option.
Yes.
Sea days, I mean, it depends on how you like to spend your time. Maybe you want to enjoy taking a gamble in the casino, right? And taking a little bit of fun there, or you want to enjoy the spa, which is incredible. That's wonderful. They also have great bingo classes going on, or funny entertainers, comedians. They've got
Nice.
fun, shows that are going on during the day, or you could just relax poolside, right? And there's nothing better than that. So I always like to also talk about the value of the sea day and just having that sense of recovering for that next port.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Scandinavia, Baltic, these are really growing in popularity. There's lots of beautiful itineraries that, are going into these areas. Of course, we're doing some round trips, so again, depending, we know that there's certain areas that are of unrest, and we always take the safety and security of our travelers at hand. So as these dates approach, if there's, obviously any reason for concern, we're going to take that into hand, and we'll make, deviations on the itineraries as they see fit. So,
That makes sense.
our
Yes.
captains always always are at the discretion of being able to change the ports of call, if it's weather related, if it's security or safety related. So just know that, there is always someone looking out and being in communication with on ground and what's happening.
That's
The
awesome.
British,
That's great to know, actually, because that
yeah,
was one of
I
the
think this
questions
is
people were
important.
asking about the Europe stuff. So yeah, thank
Oh
you.
yeah, good, good. Okay. And the British Isles, of course, I love, if you've not been in this area to visit, I absolutely love the friendly locals. And of course, the picturesque countrysides is what's going to steal your heart. So the fact that you do have, again, longer sailings, anywhere from 8 to 14 days, sailing out of Southampton, and you've got this opportunity to see all of those incredible local ports in Ireland, as well as London and, England. So, again, just absolutely love the visits because you're able to check off so much with regards to those popular icons. And then for those of you who maybe be considering, I mean, of course, we do sail the exotics. I'm not going to dive deep into this today, but just know that we do offer cruise tours when it comes to Europe. We offer cruise tours when it comes to the exotics. So, and then we also offer cruise tours when it comes to Alaska. So if it is that you're looking for a little bit more of a land and sea experience, we do offer that here with Princess. So, be aware of that, as well as the world cruise. If you really want to go for it, go for the world cruise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm good.
I did want to talk a little bit about Alaska because it is probably one of our most popular destinations. Super excited to learn that we just won the 2022 Travel Age West Wave Award.
Oh,
Yes,
congratulations. This
for
is awesome.
best
I
cruise
think you've
line.
been winning it all along also.
We have, you can see it there, 19 straight years. I actually need to update this because it needs to be
Yes.
20 straight years. Of course, there was a bit of time where, we weren't cruising in Alaska for some of those restrictions, but we're back, baby. And so excited, the community and that in Alaska really looks for us to support them. And it's so fun to be able to engage with the locals. We actually take more guests to Alaska than any other cruise line. So, oftentimes people ask the question, why Alaska? And these are the three main reasons: the beauty of the glaciers, the stunning mountains, and of course, the incredible wildlife. So when you go to Alaska with Princess, we try to really help you along every step of the way. Being able to have these variety of experiences. So there's multiple ways, Sanjay. I don't know if you and or your clients are familiar with all the different offerings. Alaska can sometimes be overwhelming because there is so much to see and do. So what we do is I feel like the best way for us to be able to explain it is, you've got, if you want to see Alaska, that would be our inside passage. If you want to see more of Alaska, that would be our one-way cruises, our voyage of the glaciers. If you want to see all of Alaska, then we're going to talk a little bit about cruise tour, which is going to be including your cruise, your rail, and your land. So that's how I like to explain it. I figure I'd just jump in and kind of talk a little bit about what that looks like at a glance.
I think that's, I have a few questions on that, but I'll let you finish. Maybe you'll answer all of those.
Yeah. So the inside passage, that's this blue line. So you see that where it's starting out of Seattle. Our newest ship, the Discovery, is in Alaska right now, and there still is
best ship.
availability through. We sail from May through to September in Alaska. It's a wonderful season. It's a short season, but it's a wonderful season. So you've got great departures going out on Saturday and Sunday. This does, on some of them, call on Glacier Bay National Park or Endicott Arm or Dawes Glacier. There is also longer voyages going out of San Francisco. So you can see in this situation, I'm going to try to minimize my screen here, but you can see where it actually starts in Seattle. It has a stop in Victoria, right? Which is why it is that we ask that you have your passport and your vaccinations. You're going to actually stop in Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway. These are your main ports when it is that you're cruising. You can only visit these ports by cruise unless it is that you choose to fly by, from one port to the other, which you can do, but again, it's costly. So it's nice to be able to pull right up into Juneau and or Skagway or Ketchikan and see that. And then you're going to see you'll have a little bit of an experience depending on the sailing with one or two particular glaciers that'll be called out on the itinerary. Now, I want to call out something, Sanjay. Right now, we've got 40% off sale going on for 2022 cruises. And if you're looking to book for 2023, we're even offering a 25% off. So I'll talk
Nice.
a little bit about how long that's lasting, but this is a wonderful time for you to book because there's so
So
many great deals.
one more thing in the glacier one, and I was reading through and I was going through the Princess Cruise, that you have a priority line up there, so that Princess Cruise get a priority or to visit the glacier than any other cruise lines. Is that a true
Correct.
understanding?
That is correct. And so when I talk a little bit about the voyage of the glaciers,
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely
Yes.
talk a little bit more about that.
Okay,
Before I
cool,
move
cool.
on to, before I do that though, I want to talk about this new offering that we have got going out on the Inside Passage, where it does include one full day of scenic glacier viewing. So it's the 10 and 11 day going out on the Crown Princess. So you can actually see with our Voyage of the Glaciers, there's always 2 guaranteed glacier viewings. So you actually get a little bit more of Alaska, which is, this is Inside Passage. You're seeing some of Alaska. Voyage of the Glaciers, you're seeing more of Alaska. So with this is kind of a new offering because you're actually getting to have a little bit more of an experience with the actual scenic glacier viewing. So this
I
is
think
the
people
10
should
and
take a
11 day.
screenshot of this if possible, because this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because they can reach
So
back to me on this one, because this is amazing.
yeah, so this is nice. This is a really nice itinerary, a little bit longer, but again, it's the round trip Vancouver instead of round trip Seattle. But again, it's the Inside Passage. So let's talk a little bit about the Voyage of the Glacier. So this is seeing more of Alaska. So if you take a look at the map, you're starting off with the Inside Passage. Generally, you're starting off in Seattle and you're stopping in Victoria, and then you're heading up through the Blue Line, Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway. You'll have a glacier viewing. Again, it depends on which itinerary you're choosing, whether it's Endicott or Dawes Glacier. And then you'll see that blue line where it goes straight back into Seattle. So now we're going to look at the red line. That's the Voyage of the Glaciers, where you're starting in Vancouver, you're heading up through to Ketchikan, then you'll go to Juneau, then you'll go to Skagway, but you actually see where you go into Glacier Bay National Park. So Sanjay, you hit the nail on the head, because we only allow two ships are only allowed to go into Glacier Bay every day, and Princess Cruises is always guaranteed to be one of them. Now, this is one of my favorite highlights, because 2 common questions that I get about Glacier Bay is, what side of the ship do I want to be on when I'm on an Alaska cruise? And, it doesn't really matter when you're on a Princess cruise ship. When we're going into Glacier Bay, we actually turn the ship 360 degrees.
Wow.
So everyone gets that viewing perspective, whether you're choosing to be up on deck or whether you're choosing to be in the beautiful convenience of your cabin, watching it on the TV or watching it from your balcony. It's absolutely a beautiful view.
This is amazing to know. This is actually really good to know, because people are struggling that should I go on the app side or no? What do I do? Which side is much better?
Yeah, so you really can't pick a bad side. I mean, I always encourage going and booking a balcony, because then you get to see the beautiful views every time during the day and the night.
Totally.
And when you do Voyage of the Glaciers, you're actually going to be doing 2 glacier viewing experiences. Glacier Bay is always guaranteed to be one of them. My favorite part about going into Glacier Bay is that we stop right at Icy Strait Point, where the ranger station is, and the rangers join us for the full day that you're in Glacier Bay.
That is nice.
Yeah, so they join us on the ship, and then they're answering questions, they're doing presentations, they're making their ways around. We have a really fun ranger program for kids, on the ship, so lots of just fun ways to interact. It's really for any age group. So I want to just reassure you about that. And then the second glacier viewing, depending on if you're going southbound or northbound, would either be Hubbard Glacier or College Fjord. But you're actually seeing with the Voyage of the Glaciers, you're going further in the Gulf of Alaska, and then you end up in Whittier.
Right.
So
Bendy, I see that it's a one-way trip, right? You you getting onto the Vancouver and getting off there, because I don't see the arrow coming back. So is that true?
Correct. So you're gonna fly back now. A lot of individuals like to do post nights on this particular itinerary, but I say that if you're doing a voyage of the glaciers, oftentimes we go to a city set and we don't necessarily go back. So if you do have the option to do a cruise tour, that's what I would highly recommend.
Ah,
And that's what
yeah.
most clients will end up doing in this situation is they'll go and they'll extend their stay. They'll do a cruise tour. And that'll be see all of Alaska. So that's the next option that we're going to go into. But
Cool.
before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about our North to Alaska program, which is absolutely spectacular. We really try to get you connected with the true locals. We bring on the rangers, like I talked about. They're answering questions, but there's so much to do in Alaska, from the fishing to exploring it by foot, by land, and or by sea, and or by air. There's so many different adventures to really be had. And we bring again so many different incredible speakers like Libby Riddles, who was the first female to win the Iditarod. And we have a great program called the Puppies in the Piazza, where we actually bring sled dogs that are in training on the ship, and you get to meet the trainer and talk and answer questions that you have. And it's just a really beautiful program. Who doesn't love a puppy, right? So it's pretty
Nice.
cool. There's of course wonderful different programs with the loggers that are there. They've got a great program in Ketchikan where you can go and you can see them compete with each other. And the lumberjacks are just incredible because they just train. They go through this special training. So when you see them do these different competitions, and they're cutting down logs, and they're climbing up the trees, and you just are amazed at how they can do it with such precision and not cut their arm off. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. So
Fishing.
everybody loves to talk about the fishing. We actually do one of the fun experiences, Deadliest Catch. We do that also too. If you're familiar with the show on Discovery and Animal Planet, right? We've got some fun excursions, but you can even do some fishing while you're in Alaska. There's just so many cool experiences to do.
Yeah,
and
people
really
were
something
asking
for
about the
every
fishing
culture.
tours to me. That I'm glad that you answered that, because they were talking about all salmon related. What kind of fishing you do? Like, we will ask that question. Can we do salmon fishing? Doesn't the cruise tour allow that? That's a
Yeah, so
question
we
we had.
do have excursions that do feature fishing. It depends on which port. I think it's going to be more in Ketchikan because, again, that's your salmon capital of the world.
Yeah.
But these ports that you go to, Juneau, Skagway, Ketchikan, they're so unique because it is like you're taking a step back in time. They're
That's right.
more of these pioneer city sets, and so the country saloon that you go and you visit, and or the little fishing town that you go and you see, it just is really, again, something that's very preserved, and it's just a cool experience. So if you're really an avid fisherman, I highly recommend doing a cruise tour, because we have 5 lodges in Alaska, and I'll talk about the one that I find is most popular for those individuals that love fishing. So let's talk about the cruise tour. Now, this is seeing all of Alaska. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to be doing a cruise, the 7-day, the 3 ports, plus the Glacier Bay so this is going to be the Voyage of the Glaciers cruise. Then you're going to be taking a train, which is our Rail to the Wilderness. It's a 500-mile trek into the heart of Alaska. And then you are staying at one of our exclusive lodges. And every one of our cruise tours visits Denali National Park. So this is what this looks like. So, the cruise is coming up to that area where you get off the cruise. You don't have to worry about your luggage. We take care of all that for you. You walk off the ramp onto the train, and that train is our exclusive direct to the wilderness rail. So that is a beautiful experience in itself, because you're actually able to enjoy a couple of hours of being able to see the wilderness by leisure. You've got commentators that are on the rail, and they're able to arrive in Denali on the same day. So you could see the glass dome cars, there's service, for, beverages as well as light refreshments. So, it's just a really nice way to experience Alaska. You
I
know,
love
when
the train
you,
ride actually, because I think it's one of those old ones in Alaska, and it covers a lot of. It shows a lot of Alaska just by doing
yeah.
that. 500 miles, you said. I didn't know how many miles it was, but wow,
So you're making it
amazing.
to Denali in the same day. Most of our cruise tours are going to include that direct to the wilderness rail. So that's exclusive with Princess only. We do have 5 lodges in Alaska. I'm not going to talk about all of them. Of
Yeah.
course, Denali and Mount McKinley are our 2 largest lodges that are situated right by Denali National Park. Absolutely gorgeous views. Then we have a little bit more off the beaten path. That would be our Copper River and Kenai. So if you're really looking for more adventure, a little bit more exclusive, fishing opportunities, that Copper River and Kenai, that's a great little fishing area. And then we also have the Fairbanks. So this is a little bit more for those individuals that are looking to fly back, and situated right there and explore all the different areas of Fairbanks. So I love this map because everybody, sometimes just needs a visual to take a step back. But when you take a look at Alaska and you see really just the extensive experiences and where we're situated to Denali, again, you've got Mount McKinley that's situated right at the nearby entrance. We've got Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge. You've got really so many different experiences. As you see, in Vancouver, if you head all the way up, you've got your Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, Glacier Bay National Park. But, even by some of our off the beaten path, like the Kenai fjords is right by our lodge right there. So, again, lots of just beautiful things in your own in the backyards to be able to explore. More wildlife is what you're going to be able to see when it is that you do a cruise tour.
Yeah, I like CruiseTour.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
it's really it's the best of both worlds. You get a little bit of experience on the land, you get a little bit of experience at sea, seeing the specific ports. These are always the popular times to go. So this is a great, another great, just visual to help you to better understand. So your May and your September are more of your cusp season. So, you're going to maybe see a little bit better value here. The weather might be a little bit more iffy, but any time to go to Alaska is absolutely gorgeous. Last September, I went and I did this beautiful experience. It was with Animal Discovery Shore Excursion, where I got to see not only the glacier, but I also got to see, black bear. And,
Oh, really?
we got to go to a salmon hatchery, where they do all of that. And we got to meet with a local who carves totem poles. So it was all around a very well-rounded experience. Again, just probably one of my favorites. So up close and personal with a black
Question.
bear.
Yeah, sorry, finish your thought. I had a question.
Yeah, so the
Somebody was
wildlife
asking,
is
somebody was
incredible.
asking me about the Northern Lights. So when you can get a chance to cover that, please.
Yes. So, I mean, of course, they're not guaranteed.
Yeah, of course.
But the Northern Lights, there are places where you can see Northern Lights anywhere, in certain remote areas. But September is more likely the time that you would experience that for Alaska. If you're looking for longer daylight, that's going to be your June, July. Wildlife is really active, really all throughout the year. Fishing is available all throughout the year. June, July, and August is your more popular time to go to Alaska. But if it is that you're looking for more value and maybe it being not as busy, that would be your May and your September windows. But still great opportunity to travel for 2022. So take a look at some of what we have available.
So that star thingy was that meaning that best time to have that? When you have a yellow star against, when you see yellow
Yeah,
star
that's the best time to see the wildlife is in May,
and
June.
the fishing and all
the
the stuff. Okay.
fishing, yeah. But really, you can do fishing and wildlife anywhere, really.
Anywhere. Okay. Okay.
So, I think we talked a little bit about Europe. We did most of these sailings. Again, Rome to Athens. Again, just lots of beautiful opportunities here. Somehow this must have repeated, my apologies. Oh, So let's talk
Excellent.
about, so we talked about British Isles, Greenland and Iceland. I got to tell you, and the Norwegian fjords, absolutely gorgeous. So if you get an opportunity to go on some of these itineraries, we do have a couple different round trips going out of Southampton. So, I can never pronounce the names. Don't ask me to pronounce the names, right? It's
I was going to do that. Can you tell me what is that?
yeah. So they're really, I think that's a special talent in itself, but just absolutely, this is on my bucket list. I've not been, but it is absolutely spectacular views. And then we do also the transatlantic passages. Keep in mind when you're thinking about Europe too, just to get back to that, you've got, 25 ports of call, they're 9 p.m. or later. So that's so nice to know, because oftentimes, you really want to take a look at how long you're spending in that port of call. So that's something important that I want to talk about, because if you're only getting a couple of hours, you're not really going to be able to explore much further than that immediate port. So knowing that we've got these later ports of call, and then we even do overnights in certain ports, is always a key factor when you're looking at the itinerary. So I want to talk a little bit about what also is something new that we've incorporated. We have on our Princess Cruises this incredible program where we try to make it really all one price point. So a more inclusive type of experience at sea. We have what's called the Princess Plus value. So that includes Princess Plus, unlimited Wi-Fi per guest, and then the daily crew appreciation. It's all rolled in for a $50 a day per fee. So what's nice is that when you get up and you want that specialty coffee, or you want that martini, or you want that glass of wine with dinner, everything's included. So you don't have to worry about any of that
Awesome.
every day. So
Awesome.
if you were to purchase these out and itemize it out per person per day, it would come out to be about a $95 value. If you were to, kind of piecemeal it. But what we did is we decided to start bundling this and passing along the savings to the guests for only $50
That's
per
awesome.
person per day. So we just introduced this next layer called the Princess Premier. So we already have a lot of enhanced value with the Princess Plus, but if you wanted to get that much more value at $75 per day, you get some additional perks. So you get the enhanced premier beverage package, which is a little bit more of your top shelf liquors, maybe wines by the glass that you would only normally be able to get by the bottle. You also get 2 nights of our specialty dining restaurants, which those are incredible. We've got a wide variety that you could choose from. You also get the photo package, because again, we know that this is an incredible value for a lot of clients that are looking to, again, take away memories when they come back home and be able to look on those. One of my favorites, we have excellent Wi-Fi at sea. So with this particular package, you get 4 devices. So if you plan on traveling with a work phone, a personal cell phone, maybe a laptop, you don't have to keep signing off of your Wi-Fi and switching to the different device. This one, you can just have all 4 devices accessible to you all the time,
That is awesome.
which is
That is-
really nice. There are a lot of
Yeah.
us that really want to, say that we're working abroad, wink, wink, nod, nod, right? This is a great way to do it because we have excellent Wi-Fi. And something new that we, just incorporated too with this package is our Princess Prizes. So this is an opportunity where basically we're taking the fun into every time you're entering your stateroom, when we're in international waters and while the casino is open, you're actually entering to win a prize. So every time you go into your stateroom cabin, you'll enter to win. It could be a short excursion credit. It could be an
Oh, that is
onboard credit.
nice.
It could be a free cruise. So this also plays a big part into that as well.
That is
Our
really good.
specialty, yeah. So it's really
It's
kind of
fun.
makes
It's
it
really
fun to
fun.
go
Like,
back.
yeah.
So instead of being frustrated that you forgot your sunglasses, when you finally make it up to the pool, you can go back and be like, oh, wait a minute, I get to enter to win. And
That's
there's,
nice.
yeah, so that's kind of a fun way to incorporate going back to your stateroom. We've got lots of specialty restaurants. Absolutely cannot say enough about these. I mean, I've had that burger that's at the Salty Dog Gastro
Yeah,
Pub.
I only looked at that one, by the way.
I know, and it is spectacular. It is so good. And they also have poutine, which is super fun if you've never had that. So the Salty Dog Gastropub is so fun, so fun. Sabatini's, that's our homemade Italian. They make homemade pasta. It's absolutely to die for. My favorite thing there was the burrata. Absolutely gorgeous food. Now these experiences, these are meant for like a 2-3 hour experience. So you can make reservations to these in advance, and there is usually there is an additional charge for any one of these experiences. But for this Princess Premier, it includes 2 nights at any one of these specialty dining restaurants. Each ship has a variety of those, but so not all of these are featured on one particular ship, but you'll have a Crown Grill and a Sabatini's, or you'll have a Crown Grill and a Bistro sur la Mer. The Bistro sur la Mer, excellent. I didn't know how I would really enjoy French food, but it was absolutely spectacular. And that tuna, ahi tuna that he has plated right there, absolutely the most gorgeous thing I think I've ever eaten. And then if you're a big steak and fish person, so the Crown Grill, top notch. We even have specialty salts that you can use. We have a black lava salt that you add to that steak. It is fantastic. So they come around with specialty salts. If you love fish, that's also a great place to go. When we're in Alaska, they do an Alaska menu. So you can have, the fresh salmon. So they load on fresh salmon from Alaska when they're in Alaska.
I'm already hungry, actually.
Yeah, I know. It's getting to be that lunch hour, isn't it? Harmony is our version of Asian fusion. I have not had the privilege of eating there or Steamers or Planks Barbecue, but I'm sure it does not disappoint. So again, really great options when it comes to specialty dining. This is at a glance. So maybe you're not interested in either of those packages. You want just your base package. That would be our Princess Standard. Or if you want that next package up, that's our Princess Plus. And if you want more inclusions, that's our Princess Premier. So just
That's
at a
awesome.
glance.
Yeah, I think you should talk about a little bit about the medallion class also, because that is something I don't think any other cruise line have right now. This is just
Yeah.
Princess Cruise Line,
So
and it's awesome actually.
I love this. This is what's called the medallion. When you become ocean ready with Princess, you are sent a medallion that's personalized with your name, your ship, and the voyage. And this is something that it basically will allow you to make everything so much easier. So when you become ocean ready, we have an app that you download onto the phone, your device. It could be a tablet and or a phone. And then you go through these different steps to become ocean ready. It's basically going to give you a more streamlined embarkation. You can now do all your safety drills and at the convenience of your own cabin, and check into your muster station with your device. So you'll wear this. It comes with a complimentary lanyard, and or you can purchase different accessories such as a clip or a necklace or a watch band. And it's wonderful. My favorite part is that, of course, our Wi-Fi is the most amazing, but it really gives you freedom and flexibility. So let's say you needed to order extra pillows for your stateroom. You can do that right on your device. Right? If
Yeah.
you want to, so every time you're going to get on the ship or disembark, you're going to be having this device on you, and then that's how it's going to read that you're on the ship or off the ship. Maybe Sanjay, you and I are traveling together, and I know that you went ahead to the casino and I got held up at the shops. You can find me.
Track you. Yes.
You can find me. And if I don't want you to find me, I can make certain that you don't find me, right? But let's say you're looking for somebody. Maybe you want to check in on your kids and you don't want to have to go down to, the kids station. You can check right on your phone where your kids are. You can locate your parties. You can make your reservations. My favorite part about this device is it really gives us an opportunity to personalize your experience with Princess. So
yeah,
if
my
you're
favorite
comfortable,
part was that you can order a drink and they can deliver it to where you are. You don't have to get up. Like, oh, this is awesome.
that's exactly what I was talking about, right? So we have something that's fun, and you can actually see it in this picture. We have something that's called Movies Under the Stars. So usually during the day or during the night, sometimes both, we'll actually be playing a movie, And let's say you get comfy, you're a little chilly, you want a blanket, they'll have blankets there for you. But now you've settled in and you'd like a little snack or a drink. They'll find you, you can place your order on your phone. They'll bring it to you wherever you are on the ship. They'll know as a tracking where to find you. And so that is probably one of my favorite things as well.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah. So let's talk about the incredible value. There's lots of value going on right now. All destinations right now are on sale. If you're looking to travel in 2022, there's lots of great opportunity. I love those Canada, New England sailings. Or even if you're thinking about doing the Caribbean or maybe something out of the West Coast, they're 40% off. So great opportunity. And listen, let's not fool ourselves. People are out there traveling. They want to get ahead. 2023 is already full in effect. Alaska 2023 is already out. So many destinations has already released our 2023 sailings. So keep in the know that we have a 25% going on right now. We also have an awesome opportunity where kids sail free. Now, kids can be your, 40-year-old children who want to be in, right? So in the same cabin. That's up to you if that's what you want, but kids sail free, there's no age on it, right? So it's
nice.
The third and fourth person in the berth. But if you're looking to travel as a family, this is a great opportunity for them to sail free. So this is going on right now from July 15th to August 15th. So it's a wonderful opportunity, again, to take advantage of those last couple of weeks of summer and maybe book something. And,
Awesome.
right now I always say, keep calm and call a travel advisor. Sanjay is your resource for being so knowledgeable about everything as it pertains to Princess. So I've listed his information here. I hope that you reach out to him. I wanted to wet your whistle, but I didn't want to quench your thirst, is how I say it, because,
I love that.
love to be able to share with you all about travel and just the Princess difference. So thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Wendy. I know that we are over our time, but
I know. Sorry.
no, that's okay. That's okay. I think I was just going through my list of questions which I had it earlier, and I think the kids part was one of the part where people were asking that, hey, do the kids have, or the teenagers or the small kids, do they have activities on this? I think you said yes, they do have activities. So
yeah, we have a kids club, we have a teens club. So we have, different special programs that, they have a lot of fun. You can, leave them off with the counselors that are there manning that club for the day. There's lots of activities, video games, and it's a great way for kids to make new friends that are from all around the world.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Then I think you already talked about the best time to go. I think you give more information the best time to go, what to do on those, months also. That is awesome. Like more than what people were asking that. I think you mentioned excursion. I think you went into a lot of detail for the excursion. That was one of the questions, that what is the best excursion, but the excursions are there. People who are like fishing excursion was one of the questions I had, which is, I think you answered it. So I think I have it all. There was one other thing. I think pretty much Northern Lights was one of the question. Medallion was questions. So I think we answered pretty much all the questions. I think you took time, and I don't know how you just did the whole Princess in 1 hour. It seems like less. I like, oh my God, she pretty much everything. But
that's
I think you
good.
answered
That's good.
all the questions which I had it in mind. I mean, people asking me, like, Alex, she touched upon all of those things, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I've got to
Thank
tell you, one thing that some people are asking about too is our dining situations and how the flexibility is up for the dining. So I wanted to emphasize about that because, now you can really choose to dine any way you want, whether with who you want, where you want, when you want. So, again, the medallion does make it so easy. So if you want to dine on your balcony one night, you could do that. You could set that up. You can dine in the specialty restaurants. We have, of course, the buffet. People ask questions about that. It is no longer a self-service buffet. It is serve only buffet, meaning we have that stationed. So, sometimes people ask questions about that. I'm going to tell you hands down, I'm a true foodie. So I have to say our food and our chefs do such an incredible job, from the buffet with the variety that they choose, different they'll have different cultural points of interest. So they'll have Italian, they'll have Indian, they'll have Chinese. So it's really nice selection, you know, depending on what your flavor is. And of course, if you kind of craving a little bit of everything and being indecisive, you can have a little taste and not feel guilty, right?
That's good.
But
That's
there
good.
also is set dining rooms that you can go to if you wanted a formal breakfast or lunch or dinner as well. So, you know, just it's so nice to be able to have that freedom that if you want to get cozy and catch a movie and just order a burger, they're going to bring it to you. So I just can't emphasize that enough.
No,
The
isn't that
medallion
great,
really is a
actually?
game changer.
Isn't that great? Actually, you get served. Medallion is actually such a big blessing, I believe.
Mhm.
The more I read about medallion, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, everybody should get it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to tell you again, the demand is there. Reach out, make certain that you've made your plans. This is a great window of time for additional savings. So, you know, like I said, I can't stress that enough. They've got so many great departures going out, and I hope that you get to take advantage of it and experience the Princess
Yeah, I
different.
love the 40% and that the kids sale free part for this year
Yes.
and like 25% for the next year. I think this is incredible deal.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else is giving that. So
Yeah,
everybody
that's
should jump
wonderful.
onto this one right now. But
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
thank you,
So
Wendy. Thank you so
thank
much for your
you.
time. I know it was a lot for all the people, but I think it was an amazing journey. I was like listening to you all the way through. Like, this is super, super informational. Thank you.
Good,
Thank you so
good.
much. I appreciate you
Well,
coming
you're
in.
welcome. Thank you, everyone. And again, great, you know, follow-up questions. You know, I want to point you to the individual Sanjay. I want to say thank you for hosting me, and his contact information is in front of you. So reach out. I'm certain he'll be a wonderful asset to you. Booking with a travel advisor is the best investment that you can make. You know, he's really there for your interest and to make certain that your travel experience is seamless. It is the most important investment. You want to travel, you don't want to have to worry about the headaches. Make certain you're booking with a travel advisor. That is my biggest tip for today.
Thank you, Wendy. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right,
Okay.
guys. Thank you so much for joining, and we are going to stop the recording and the live session. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
All
much. Take care.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.